Hello, this is a general reading for the collective, and the topic of my collective reading is the horrific crash that happened in Baltimore, Maryland with the bridge that I should know the name of, because the person that the bridge is named after is the person that wrote the Star Spangled Banner, which is our national anthem, and this is like Francis Scott Keys or something like that. I think that's what it is. Yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, that bridge was like where this historic battle happened and inspired the writer to write the Star Spangled Banner, which again is our national anthem. Anyway, there is this wonderful lady named Marina Jacoby. I've definitely mentioned her before in past readings, but this particular reading with this particular event, I don't know which way to approach this, so I feel like word vomit, because like they're all the time. All these thoughts are like running through my head, and I just want to like berate you with everything that's in there, but it won't make any sense. So I'm trying to process it and make sense for you guys. So the Six of Cups is the first card that I pulled out. Oh, I'm using the Lubanco Tarot, this wonderful deck that is a tarot deck, but it's the way the deck is it's very eclectic, which I love, and it's almost like an oracle deck, so it's very like it's very intuitive reading. It's not like mechanical as far as like, okay, this is the Ace of Wands and this is what this card means. It's so Six Cups in the reverse, right? So that looks like a child's drawing, right? This looks like somebody that they show keeping tally of something, and because it's like in this dark patch, it's like, you know, somebody that's imprisoned or something, tallying their days so they don't forget how long they've been captive, because there's no light, dark. And green and red. Okay. So the reason I mentioned all of that, including Marina Jacoby, is in one of her, she goes live every Saturday, I believe 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, something like that. I work nights, so most of the time I don't catch the lives. But because I subscribe to the website and all that stuff, I get it in my email and I can watch it like right after it's filmed and all that good stuff. But if you're not subscribed, you have to wait till she posts it, if she posts it. Due to censorship, some of the videos don't get posted on YouTube at all. She is also on Rumble, again, Marina Jacoby. I don't know which episode it was, but she gave the messaging code, and the message, the little tidbit of the message is ever cardinal, green and red. So if you care, you can go ahead and do your own little search about that. And the search would obviously include shipping, shipping containers, shipping boats. You can look it up, but this is the card, the first card that came out in the reverse. Green and red, children, captive. Okay, it's in the reverse. So this is complete confirmation for me, because when I saw this news clip, I was actually awake, because again, I'm I be vamping it, do vamp hours all the time. I saw somebody post about it and I looked it up and it was like, I don't know, half hour after it happened. And I knew when I saw it. I was like, this is what Marina was talking about. But I'm waiting for more information to come out. And more information is coming out about it gradually. This is like a side note, but I just want to say that I think it's really telling that Biden came out hours after it happened and went on air and really didn't have a clue as far as an investigation goes as to what happened, and immediately was like, it's a tragedy and the government's gonna pay for it to fix it. And it's like, okay, what did you do in Palestine, Ohio, Palestine, however you say it, when the train was derailed and all that chemical shit was spilled and people are having long-term health effects from it now? Government didn't do anything about that. Government didn't do anything about the BP spill. Like, the companies that were involved in the accident were responsible. So why is this different? It's almost like they're trying to hide something. If I had a beard. And if I was Asian or, I don't know, Cantonese, Japanese. Because they take it and they throw it. Because it's like long hair and they throw it. Sorry. Yeah. I'm hearing Cried Wolf. Like, he got on TV real quick to be like, oh my god, this is a horrible tragedy, and we're gonna fix this, and it's gonna be okay. Like, don't look over here. Look over here. It's like classic bullshit tactics that I'm so tired of seeing. And I'm so tired of people around me just like, oh yeah, that. Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. I'm not going to get into those kind of specifics, but I just want, just saying. Got to look under the surface when these kind of things happen. You gotta really dig, and this is part of my digging, even though I kind of already have some ideas, clearly. So to further explain the Six of Cups, these cards both came out sideways, so I guess I'll show them to you in the upright. We got the Empress and the Seven of Wands. So this particular deck, there's very few cards with children on it, because this particular deck is kind of like, I don't know, it's like foreign, and it's also like LGBTQ whatever friendly. And I say that whatever because I think there might be some additional letters afterwards, but I can't keep the fuck up. So, another card that came out later that also has a child on it. Again, there's like these two cards, and that's it out of the entire deck that have kids on it. The Sun card. There's a kid. A very ethnic looking kid. Came out in the reverse a little bit later. We'll get to that. So, with the Empress card coming out with the Seven of Wands, I'm feeling the challenge I mean, the challenge is obvious. The challenge is like children are supposed to be taken care of, provided for, looked after, loved, protected, treasured. Like humans compared to other species. Some species, as soon as they're born, depending on, like, they're born and they have to walk right away or else they're gonna die. Okay, humans aren't like that. Babies are completely and utterly dependent on their parents to survive in every way, shape, or form of it. And it's for a long period of time. Even the gestational period of being pregnant for a human is way longer than other species on our planet. I'll just say that. So children are innocent and they're pure and they need to be protected and they need to be looked after. And this particular Empress card actually has a child in it. Most of the Empress cards just show the Empress pregnant. And doesn't she look scared? And with the Seven of Wands coming out with that, it's like an exasperation. It's like I've been fighting for so long. I don't know how much longer I can keep fighting. And that's to further explain the Six of Cups coming out in the reverse, which normally the Six of Cups talks about like looking to the past, and with it being in the reverse, it could be talking about looking towards the future, which is probable in this case. It's like a turning point. The truth that we all know, well, anybody that cares to pay attention knows is there. Human trafficking is a very real problem, and it's been a very real problem for a very long time, but in today's times, it's being highlighted for more and more people as a realization, a reality. Like, even though it may not be your reality, it's a reality. And especially for women, there's two females here. We'll say two females. Two biological females. Sorry, I couldn't resist. As far as trafficking goes, when you're a female, it doesn't matter really what age you are. You are at a potential risk to be trafficked. Boys, male, men, whatever category related to age you want to give it, it's a little bit different. So yeah, that for me is confirmation that that is what this this whole thing is about.
So once we go through this process, once we go through this awakening, if you've been doing this spiritual work, the glory of the Father.
I feel like what I'm hearing is that the people that are responsible for this event happening aren't fully aware of all the information, and they have their own agenda, because word on the street is it's a cyber attack that happened with the boat. It doesn't matter like what the mainstream, please don't listen to mainstream news. And mainstream news is creeping it is fully immersed in platforms where you used to be able to get news and it would be like, yay, it's not mainstream, it might be the truth, it might be, but it's not reliable. You gotta use You gotta use your discernment. You gotta pay attention to the signs. If there is confirmations, something you see, like for me, when I was pulling these cards, I was like, I don't know what's happening. But this first card with the red and green, I was like, oh my God. That's right. Marina was talking about that. And then I was like, oh my God, there's little kids there. Or, you know, like rudimentary drawings of people. And pay attention to the signs that you get. Doesn't matter if it makes sense to anyone else. It only matters if it makes sense to you, because it's only a message for you. It's the way the universe is communicating with you to explain what's happening, because I mean, apparently not everyone has an inner dialogue, but as far as I'm concerned, I have an inner dialogue, and I think things that I obviously don't say out loud, and I kind of work things out in my head, and working the things that you work out in your head and you keep to yourself is different from the communication that you have with people in your 3D reality. So if you see images flashing in your head, if you see colors that are a significance, anything, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever it is, when you get that information, it's important. Pay attention to it. Tune the fuck in. I don't know why I got super aggressive with that. So yeah. And my knee is cramping. Ow. Crampy. So the next set of cards that came out here is the King of Wands. And to further explain that is the Six of Cups. So the King of Wands came out in the reverse, but I just want to touch on the Six of Cups here real quick. So it's kind of hard to tell what's going on in this card, but because I know tarot, normally the Six of Cards shows somebody leaving in a boat. So that's what this is. This is a boat, and there are, did I say Six of Wands? I meant Six of Swords. These swords that are like stuck into the boat, but not stuck in too deep into the boat that there's holes in the boat, so the boat's still floating. And it's kind of hard to tell, but this is actually a person back here. Those are somebody's hands, like they're holding them like this on their chest. So this image of this card is mainly the reflection. Okay. So that's to explain the King of Wands, which was in the reverse. And I mean, that is a creepy King of Wands card, right?
Archangel Michael wouldn't solve Casey's problems. The answer to the question was, he who leads or would direct is continually beset by the force.
So with these two cards coming out together, I'm hearing,
He who endures to the end shall wear.
pay attention
Endures to the end shall wear the crown.
to what's obviously in front of you, but it's not like
The crown originally was a symbol.
mentally the first thing that you would pay attention to. Like if you saw a boat floating in the water and it casted a reflection, because water is a reflective surface, you tend to tune out the reflective surface because the lights and movement aren't solid, and they're, if you tried to make sense of it the way that you would of the solid things, it's like a distraction, so you like kind of like tune it out. But with the reflection being the main part of this card, I feel like it's saying pay attention to what's obviously being shown to you, but it's not being focused on. which is like a dead giveaway to so many things that happen that are publicized in the news. Because the news, especially mainstream outlets, are mouthpiece for the establishment. And like, why the fuck would you lay in a boat, not steer it, not paddle, not do anything, just lay there like you're fucking dead and be like, oh my god, like, why would you do that? That doesn't make any fucking sense. It would make sense if you were dead. Doesn't make sense why your hands would be that way unless you died like that and rigor mortis set in. And again, this person's hands are white AF. So again, I'm like hearing death and like trying to hide it, trying to hide sinister things. And in the upright, what the hell does that reflection look like to you? That looks like maybe a mountain, maybe, or death. Does that not kind of look like a hooded figure of smoky blackness coming up through the water? Like a dead body? So it's like almost like no matter which way you look at this card, kind of fucked up. And with the King of Wands in the reverse, this is talking about like a leader, somebody that's in charge, that doesn't give a fuck about anybody except for their own ambitions. Somebody that's very caught up in their ego. They're mean. They're angry. They're sadistic. And then with the Six of Swords, it normally talks about going from point A to point B and not knowing how you're going to get there, but you just decide that you're going to do it regardless, which that is happening. The Six of Swords is in the upright, but I feel like the people are paying attention to the quiet parts. People are paying attention to the things that, at this point, if you're not trained in, especially when it comes to like the media and the government, to when something major happens, to be like, what are they distracting me from? I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't know what shows you're watching. I don't know what stories you're telling yourself in your head. But I'm not that old, and I understand that's how the world works. So if you don't understand that that's how the world works, it's either because you're completely delusional or you're completely delusional. Because you either purposely putting your head in the sand, or your head's just been in the sand for so long you think that's normal to breathe in dirt instead of fresh air. And either way, it's really sad. It's really sad. So the next set of cards that we have out is the Knight of Swords. This card came out in the reverse, and then to further explain that is the Sun card, which also came out in the reverse. And I spoke about this card earlier. It is the other card in the deck that has a child on it.
And the Mayan calendar is exactly one side of the pentagon. Now you say, well, David, okay, there's going to be some guy in here on the troll list right now. He's probably hating on me. There's always somebody.
So those two cards coming out together, I'm hearing that there is going to be something swift happening. It's going to happen crazy fast, and it's going to shine a light in the dark. Because the sun card is the sun, right? Look, we got a black horse and a white horse, and we got a dark figure and a light figure, but this light figure looks like a trickster spirit. And that horse is looking pretty sus too. But that one is looking like a regular horse. Wait, does it have a unicorn? No. A regular white horse and a regular kid. Yeah. Which, if I'm going to be honest, a horse like that is expensive in real life. That is a prized possession horse. That is not a cheap horse. That kid is riding that horse saddleback or no saddle, what they call it, bareback. He's fucking barefoot. He doesn't have on the proper attire to ride a horse. It's like he's making a getaway. Oh my god. What are you doing? Is it Zoomy o'clock? Look, it looks like he's making a getaway. He's like looking behind him, right? He's looking behind him and up. Oh, it's Zoomy o'clock. So, there's going to be a realization about this event. They're going to try and cover it up. They're going to try and hide it. But people are going to see the truth, whether it's obvious or not. And they're going to call bullshit. They're going to call bullshit on the bullshit. And they're going to say, no, this is the truth. The truth is going to be revealed. That's it. And it might take a little bit of time, but it's going to be, the truth is going to come out. And not only is it going to come out, but it's going to be like everywhere. Like the climate that we're in right now, where it comes to news, is that independent media is taking away from mainstream media. And mainstream media is trying to combat by getting onto these platforms that independent media is on and acting like they're independent media, but they're not. I don't know if you heard about what happened with Candace Owens. They try to act like independent media. They're not. And what they did to Candace Owens is a perfect proof is in the pudding. Proof of what they really are about and what their true agenda is. And they're just like seeping, the fake news is like seeping their way into these platforms. And this kid's on a white horse. The truth is, there's not going to be any covering this up because people are going to give a fuck, especially when they realize it has something to do with human trafficking and that children are involved. People are going to get wind of it, and it's going to light a fire. Oh, and I just heard it's going to burn the establishment down. Like, though the establishment, oh my gosh, they have so many ways and platforms and agendas to like degrade our sovereignty and convince us that we have no power. But the truth of the matter is we have all of the power. And the only way that we don't have power is if we agree to their ideas, and their guidelines and their rules, and like it's not even like on the outside we pretend or anything like that. It's like like not we, like me, but like people literally, like if they hear the truth or hear some information that's contrary to what 10, 20 different people are saying, and they're like, wait a minute, well that can't be true because these 10 to 20 different people are saying this, that can't be true. Even though if you just took like 5 seconds to just like actually listen to the information and then you can look it up, you know that that's not true. But those people that keep their heads in the sand, they're not going to be able to deny this either. It's going to touch everyone. Like water. Because humans are, what, like 90 some odd % water? Last reading I did, I talked about game over. Oh, that's what, I got distracted. The bad guys got like so many different programs to like fuck us over. They got the weather manipulation. They got all the chemicals and horrible things they put in our food. Sugar. They got the GMOs. They got the school systems where they indoctrinate kids, like school to prison, like having fucking cops in school, in the fucking elementary school, like teaching kids don't talk unless you're asked to speak. Like just the history, they changed the history. There's so many things if I could just do a reading on that. So many programs that they have out to manipulate and convince us that reality is this way and that this is the power that we have and this is our place in this world. And it's all a fucking lie. It's all a fucking lie. And this is like the good guys' little piece to combat all that. Because the good guys also have a bunch of programs, permission slips, whatever, that are in place that are combating it, and they're picking up speed and getting stronger and stronger. And the thing that makes them stronger than the manipulators is that there is no manipulation. It's literally just people have the choice, because they always have the choice, to decide if they agree with it or not. And then the fact that they have the choice to decide if they agree with it or not, they start looking into these other things that they can decide if they agree with or not. Freedom. It's so powerful because it's like, hold on. What the bad guys are trying to do is overwhelm. But what the good guys are doing is just holding a space for anyone looking for something else. They're not trying to force, they're not trying to coerce, they're not trying to manipulate, they're not lying, they're giving as much information as possible, which can be really overwhelming when you've been conditioned from birth to adulthood to shut up and don't go against what everyone else is doing and conform and do what you're supposed to do.
Look, I'm not trying to make it hard on
Just like, you know, the swear words. Oh my God, swear words. They're just words. And yes, words have power, but they only have the power that you give them. And that's another thing. That's another manipulation they do is with the language. How they change the meanings of words and the meanings of ideas. Like they can't define what a fucking woman is. Like they can't define what an assault rifle is.
positions, the 12 positions, it's the same sphere again, and we're going over the same surface.
They're doing everything to bombard us on every level, but
This is what's so weird.
was gonna be their demise.
Saying, yes, as strange as this may seem, events that took place exactly 2,100 or 60 years ago.
They're digging themselves in their own grave.
This is incredible information. And we got two more of them coming in here. We got
Because they think they need to keep digging and going deeper and doing more and keep overwhelming. But once a person realizes that they have a choice, it doesn't matter what the choice is. Once a person realizes that they have a choice, they realize their power. And this is just another I'm seeing an image of those machines. Those machines where the arcade, where you put the little arcade coin in and it goes down, and then there's like moving parts where it like pushes all these other arcade coins that were down there, and then you could get the jackpot and just get one little coin in the right spot, and when it moves forward, like a whole shit ton of coins go by. But like you have to keep putting the coins in, keep putting the coins in, and keep putting the coins in, and you don't have to do it. You could just be some random that came up like, oh my God, look at this, I got a token left, I don't really want to play, I don't have enough to play a game, but I have enough to put it in this thing, so you put it in there, and all these other people before you put in their one token, their one token, like you were doing, putting in your one token, and you get the jackpot. Like the precipice, the overflow point. Like it is reaching ahead. We're not there yet, but it's getting there. So I feel like every time I use this deck, this fucking card comes out, and it doesn't even matter if it comes out in the reverse, in the upright. The Ace of Cups, next card that came out, and then to further explain that, which was Ace of Cups came out in the reverse, and then the Page of Swords to further explain that. That is a pretty card, right? So, just look at this. We got somebody emerging their face in a chalice of water. And we got somebody, and they're surrounded in light, and they're putting their head in darkness. And then here, we have somebody that is shrouded in darkness, is surrounded by darkness, but he's piercing the darkness with his sword of truth. And the light is not only emanating from his sword, but from him, and is lighting his way. Lighting his path, and lighting anyone else that's in the... Also making him vulnerable. Also making him a target. But he's got a fucking sword. So it's like a promise of violence if you try to attack him. So with these two cards coming out, I'm hearing stuff about social media. Obviously, well, not obviously, but I'm hearing like only getting glimpses or snippets of the whole picture, not getting the whole picture, and people talking shit with the Page of Swords. But I'm also getting that when you look into something for yourself, that energy produces a light. And it may not be one that's necessarily physical. I just combined physical and visual together. It may not be something that you can necessarily see or experience in the physical, but it's there in the etheric, in the mind. Like when you have an idea, they usually use a light bulb to describe that, as in like an aha moment. This is an aha moment. And you're lit up like a light on a Christmas tree. And the reason why you're lit up like a light on a Christmas tree is because you decided to look into what was being hidden from you. You decided to do something that's unconventional. Like, most people would look at, if you saw like a big chalice and there's like black liquid in it, you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's a cup with a bunch of black liquid in it. Why would you think that if you put your head in it that you're going to see anything different than darkness? But this individual was like, I'm going to put my head in there and see what happens. Other than the obvious that, you know, we're taught is supposed to happen. And it's almost like a form of meditation. So I think with those cards coming out, I feel like this is saying that this event is another catalyst event to wake people up. That people are going to pay attention to things that they don't normally pay attention to. And they're going to gain knowledge from it. They're going to gain new insights from it. And it's going to light up their world, and they're going to start seeing things that they've never seen before, just because they started to pay attention to it. This reading, I feel like, is already crazy long, but I'll pull some cards for dang, it's like almost 45 minutes. Final messages, final advice, please. Whoa, this card again. I like wrapped up my kitty and put my face all up on his body, and now my allergies are acting crazy, so excuse the sniffle sounds. We got the Ace of Wands coming out in the reverse. Alright, give me one more card with the Ace of Wands. Give me more about the Ace of Wands for final messages, advice, please. Why? Okay, we'll do that. There's a lot of cards. I hate when it does that. So we got the Ten of Swords in the reverse and the Five of Swords in the upright. I'm hearing skipping steps. So just like 5. So we went from 1, 5 to 10. This is gonna propel people faster into the
This is again symbolic
enlightened
of the personal mind,
timeline.
as well as the gold of spiritual understanding. So all of this has to do with spiritual quest, separation, initiation, return.
Okay.
There's a cycle that we
I'm hearing with this card,
bad, we decide to do something
because
about
this
it,
card reminds me
if you want to talk about
of
in terms of storytelling,
the ick
it would be a
that's
setup, a conflict, and a resolution. And then
a
the
byproduct
turns either
of
beginning, middle, and ending. So when you're doing
a
this Hollywood
popular
screenplay, you have to have a beginning, middle, and ending, and those are called Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3.
medical procedure that was forced on the world.
The middle is Act 2, and the end is Act 3. And again,
Wasn't forced on everyone, but it was forced on certain people for sure.
So you have a hero with flaws, and that's the way all of us start out. We're all learning how to become more spiritual.
And the rollout was in 2020. I don't think I need to specify what I'm saying. If you're watching this currently, because today is the 27th, maybe the 28th of March 2024. So yeah, that medical treatment program that is still being recommended by the NIH and the CDC in the US, not to mention other countries. Also put on our child vaccine schedule. That's what this card reminds me of. And look at this. This is a rough Ten of Cups card, or Ten of Swords card, just to show you in the upright. It's somebody like in a torture fucking metal box and stabbed with swords. And there's blood. I mean,
what is it? Why do you want to be here and just hate on me and write all this crazy stuff? You know, just do it.
This individual could be unalived, as they like to say on the old TikTok. But from the hands, I feel like this person isn't dead. They're just being tortured. It was in the reverse, and
So the hero has to appear dead for 5 pages of screenplay. Eva Rosier still made it. Thank you, Eva. What is
this Five of Swords, it reminds me of like a peacock. But a sadistic ass fucking peacock. The swords just stuck out his back. He's almost like stretching, like somebody would stretch, like if their lower back was hurting them. Yeah, I can see why his lower back is hurting him. And there's like remnants of people in the background, literally a remnant. Like they're very rudimentary, barely even people. Okay. And this actually came out Ace of Wands and the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords in the reverse, and then the Five of Swords, and yeah. The worst is behind you for sure. So, sorry. You got these cards coming out like this. So I'm hearing the worst of this and this is behind you. Because this is the veins inside the body solidifying. The more and more, okay, that's what it's saying. The more and more that you choose to not bury your head in the sand and to pay attention to what's really going on, the more you become enlightened, like these two cards, the more and more you become enlightened You decide to look at something that you've never looked at before, even though it was always there, but you took a deep dive into it. And your power, coming into your power and your truth, and you're armed with the sword of truth, because you know, because you took the time to dig into it and find out for yourself. You're a light, and the more and more you light up from owning your power, from being in your sovereignty, from seeing the truth, like, to hell with whatever anyone or anything around you is telling you, this is what your reality is, and this is what's actually happening. You decide for yourself. The more you do that, the more that you combat what was done, especially what was done to the DNA, because what was done to the DNA makes it harder for you to tune into the frequencies that allow you to be in your power and to be a light.
Joseph Campbell's big argument is, I don't know why the hell this is happening, but like every single ancient mythology around the world that's ever lasted the test of time talks about this thing called the hero's journey.
And I don't know how many shots we're up to right now, but there's obviously 10. I think they're up to 9 now. And again, this card came out in the reverse. The oligarch's power is quickly fading. Again, the Knight of Wands here in the reverse, with the Sun card in the reverse, quickly fading. And they are scrambling. They are panicking. They don't know how to fix this. That's why things are going to shit so fast. Because they're pulling out all the stops. They're doing things that in the past they wouldn't have done because they're like tricky, and they're not as easy to maneuver, and they're not as by the book. They don't know step by step these things that they're doing, how they're going to play out, especially with these new energies that are around us. They fucked, yo. They are done. And the main card that stands out to me in this reading is the Six of Cups card that came out in the reverse. And I just want to reiterate to look it up for yourself, because when the establishment is telling you you're stupid for doing your own research, and if that doesn't hit you in the face like the biggest insult you've ever heard in your life, I don't know what the fuck is wrong. I don't know what you're actually hearing, but it's time to start hearing it. Ever Cardinal, green and red, having to do with a boat with shipping containers on it. That is the reading. I hope you got something out of it. And thank you as always for viewing my content. And I hope you have a wonderful Easter holiday weekend if you celebrate. If you don't, and I still hope you have a wonderful weekend. I think it's Thursday now, so I hope you also have a wonderful Thursday and a Friday and all those things. So, alright. Bye-bye. Bye for now.